That's right, we're going to be revealing Hood for you today. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out. More awesome content. On your screen is the universe's reveal for Jet Burn here from My Hero Academia. And that's right, that is Hood. You are going to be restricted to 33 health. I mean, kind of a little big lad we've got going on here, and a 5-card hand size, and then you have 6s where it's going to matter in terms of your checks. Now, the thing that I found incredibly interesting about this is this kind of relies on a mill mechanic, and I actually, when I look at card games and fundamentally milling, using your deck as a resource to generate extra pressure on the opponent, it's pretty good. So your Enhance is a mill 1, which is you discard the top card of your deck, or mill the top card of your deck, depending on your terminology. Your attack gets X plus damage. X equals the difficulty of the top card of your discard pile. So you can be putting a lot of pressure on your opponent because of this. And then response, commit 1 foundation. After you take a damage, you can draw a card and commit 1 rival foundation. I love resources. As long as I can continue to filter through my deck and get to these key cards to continue putting pressure on the opponent, it's what you want to go. Now, your traits down here are going to be Nomu and Villain, which is going to be pretty important for the rest of the good stuff that we have for you today. I'm not gonna lie, this card is actually really cool. Alright, so next up is Berserker Bite. Alright, so this is going to be response. Flip 1 foundation. After you play this card, all cards get +1 difficulty this turn. If it is your turn, this card does not count towards the progressive difficulty. So, and then of course throw. If this attack is completely blocked, it deals half damage, rounded up during damage step. So you're telling me here that we are going to put pressure on the opponent as they are going up the difficulty to play cards, which means you're going to be rounding your opponent's chances of playing better cards against you, which actually controlling the amount of cards that the opponent plays, which means it's going to be less resources that my opponent's going to have to deploy, or it's going to be a harder time for them to be able to continue throwing cards down. All right, that seems pretty valuable. All right, next up is Living Spikes. So this is going to be Enhance. Add 1 attack from your discard pile to the top of your deck. So this is where you're going to start getting into the positive aspects of milling. All right, so now that you can go ahead and you can mill a card off of your deck with our friend Hood, you can go ahead and use Living Spikes to go ahead and stack something back on the top of your deck. Our Villain Enhance here lets us destroy 1 foundation, destroy 1 rival foundation. Your opponent may discard 1 card to cancel this ability. In terms of card design, I don't blame them for having to include the opponent can discard something to cancel out an ability, because to be honest with you, effects like that can get very, very dangerous. So also getting a resource away from the opponent, maybe something that they don't necessarily want to lose, might be something that could be very important. And we're on Ranged and Breaker 1 down here for our attack classification. Next up is Stretching Slam, and that art is amazing. So Enhance, your next attack with a printed difficulty of 6 or greater gets -2 difficulty. So you've noticed a lot of these have relatively high cost. So getting the chance to get those reduced is going to help you out. And then Enhance, once again, you see the mill 1 here. This attack gets X speed. X equals the difficulty of the top card of your discard pile. So previously you saw that you could stack something on the top of your deck. Well, now you can go ahead and control what you're going to see with this. A lot of good combo momentum with these style of cards, and I actually like that. In the future, I assume that we'll get way more interesting stuff that we'll be able to interact with these. But for now, this is incredibly useful stuff. All right, next up is Summon Nomus. So while this card is in your discard pile, it gets +2 difficulty. All right, so we are pressuring the opponent here. And once again, this is another one of those cards that when it's milled off, you're going to get the extra value for it. The next card you play gets -2 difficulty. Your rival may commit 2 foundations to cancel this ability. So once again, you have a relatively powerful ability here, and the opponent's going to get another canceling-esque effect on that. So I like the fact that this deck is forcing the opponent to engage with their resources to try to cancel you out. So if they commit like a full turn or something, you'll be able to go ahead and not have much to kind of worry about out here, which seems good to me. All right, Dangerous Hybrid. Wow, that art is actually amazing. So when you try to play this card as a form, it gets -3 difficulty. Okay. Enhance Tenacious. Discard 1 momentum. This card gets 2 speed or -2 damage. So you actually get your choice here of what you want to do in terms of value for this. Overall, not too bad. And then, of course, Tenacious, this ability is playable while committed. So you get your chance to decide which you want to go down, depending on the situation that you've been set up into. All right, next up is Highend Enhance. Add this card to your hand. Add 1 card from your hand to the top of your deck. Okay, so we have another effect that we can set up what we want to actually mill off of the top of the deck. And then response, once per turn, Tenacious. After you take damage from an unblocked attack, ready this foundation. And once again, Tenacious is this ability is playable while committed. So we now have, at this point in time, 2 ways to stack the top of the deck and see which resources are going to be the most optimal to mill off. Okay, next up here, we have more power. If your opponent has the Nabu trait while you try to play this card as a form, it gets -1 difficulty. Okay, so you're going to get the chance, I can imagine in a world of the mirror match, also, you know, other characters having that trait as well. But, okay. And then form commit your next attack with a printed difficulty of 5 or greater, gets -2 difficulty. Definitely rewards you for the larger amount of power that we have going here. And then Deadlock Enhance. Flip. This attack gets 5 speed or 5 damage. So whichever you want to add on to the power point or the speed of this, and this is going to be a taunt. And the last little good thing we have for you here is Ultra Regeneration. Response Tenacious. Man, that's been our favorite trait of this. Tenacious flip. After you take 5 or more damage from an attack, draw 2 cards and gain 2 health. Or Enhance Tenacious, remove. If you have no ready foundation, add 1 card from your discard pile to your hand. So you can toggle back for any resource that you have down in the discard pile, which is actually pretty good. Or, you know, okay, that's actually pretty good. Now, I did ask when I got sent these cards, I was like, all right, so what are some of the favorite interactions from some of the staff? Like, what are some of the things that people want to hear about here? Well, here, I got these for you. So Hulking Grimace from set 3, Muscle Mauler from set 4, and Calorie Counter from set 5 are great cards to add to any Hood deck. Its difficulty 6 makes it a great card to mill with the character ability to add 6 damage to an attack, and are very strong cards in their own, which makes it a strong base for offense, which is very, very strong. Taking the Gloves Off from set 6 also has a great interaction with Hood's bottom response, allowing Hood to target commit a threat on the rival's board, and then taking the gloves off to flip your opponent's rival, treating foundation. All right, so you're going to get the ability to control most foundations with this too. Super Regeneration from set 1. All right, and Excited from Blood from set 2 allow a Hood deck that is on the evil symbol to have access to many health regain effects to continue using the bottom response while keeping the health high. And Into the Fray from set 4 lets a Void deck Hood cheat a lot of its high difficulty cards at the beginning of a turn and keep up his defense on the next turn. And it's actually pretty important. Defensive options, especially when you can cheat in things. Trying to break cards is always going to be one of the most interesting things. But I'm glad that this was the card I got to reveal. The mill mechanic in any game is incredibly awesome. And the fact you have so many ways to set up you know, what you want to control mill. I like that a lot. So, do you guys want to give Universes a try? What do you think about this reveal? I'm super excited for this, and I can't wait to get my hands on this and actually play around with this. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.